lives taken from the Castillos, the Servandos, the Ignacianos, and all of the other families who have lost loved ones due to the tragic evil of hazing. However, I hope that these families will take pride in knowing that their strong and courageous voices have had a fundamental impact in shaping this legislation so that hopefully no more families will be made to endure what they have. At bilang panghuli, Mr. President, nais kong magbigay ng payo sa lahat ng mga fraternities, sororities at organisasyong patuloy na nagtutulak ng hazing bilang pamamaraan ng kanilang kapatiran. Ito na ang huli ninyong pagkakataon para ayusin ang mga baluktot ninyong paniniwala. Sa oras na may sa batas ang panukalang ito, tinitiyak ko na wala na kayong palusot na maaari pang gamitin para takasan ang inyong mga maling gawi at pananagutan. Kaya ang simple kong panawagan, itigil ninyo na yan bago pa mahuli ang lahat sa inyo. Wala na kayong takas sa susunod. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. President, again, Senator Subiri, Mr. President.
Senator Subiri.
Thank you, Mr. President. I gave my speech already in my second reading vote last week, but I'd like to again reiterate my thanks to the chairperson, to Chairman Ping Lacson of the Committee on Public Order and Security. Sir, thank you very much for taking this cause. To Senator Gatchalian and to all my colleagues who were there, including our majority floor leader who had a personal stake at this anti-hazing law. I would like to make special mention those who are here today with us, Mr. President. When we approved it on third reading, we could not help but get emotional to see the sight of members of families whose children had died from hazing. And we have here with us Aurelio Servando, father of Gilio Servando, who was killed in 2014, also a victim of hazing. We have with us Ma'am Cora Icasiano, mother of Alex Icasiano, who was killed due to hazing in 1998. And of course, we have our very own family. I say very own because the daughter worked in my office, Mr. President. No other than Acho Castillo's family that are here today with me, Toti and Mini Castillo, together with her, with the daughter and the uncle of Acho. So many names in this list of people, of those who died due to hazing. We have John Mark Dugan, a 19-year-old sophomore Marine cadet of Maritime Academy of Asia whose death was by hazing. How about the 20-year-old San Beda University law student who was beaten to death by members of the fraternity that he wanted to join by the name of Mark Andre Marcos? Then you have a University Makati student who was killed in his initiation rites, and his body was recovered from a 30-foot cliff in Laguna, off a 30-foot cliff in Laguna, by the name of E.J. Carl Incha. And so many more victims due to hazing, Mr. President. With what the committee has done and what we have filed and now passed on third reading, soon to be approved through the BICAM and signed by the President into law, we hope that there should be no more senseless deaths such as these. I have children too, Mr. President. My son is 7 years old, my daughter is 9 years old, and I have a 3-year-old son. 10 years from now, when my son goes to college, I don't want him to to suffer the same fate that many of our brothers and sisters had suffered to the hands of fraternities and sororities for the sake of brotherhood and sisterhood. There's many ways to be able to earn your right as a brother and a sister without having to beat one another to death, Mr. President. And so again, I thank this chamber for the swift action on the anti-hazing law. And again, I'm so happy that the deaths of these people, most especially Acho Castillo, did not go in vain. I'd like to also make special mention to my co-member of the Red Cross, Attorney Kapunan, and their son, for continuing the crusade for the Acho Castillo family. And the fight still continues, Mr. President, and I would like to put on record to appeal to the DOJ to finally file the case at court. Apparently, this resolution is ready. It's ready for filing. Let us not delay any further. Mauuna pa yung batas kaysa sa kaso. I-file na po yung kaso para sila ay makulong na. Let the fight be at the courts, Mr. President, and let them prove their innocence if they are even innocent, Mr. President. That is my appeal, my last appeal before I end my speech to the DOJ and the prosecution service. Maraming salamat, Mr. President. Maraming po salamat sa ating mga kapatid.
Senator Gordon.
Mr. President, members of the Senate, I'd like to congratulate this Senate for moving as fast as we could to see to it that this landmark legislation is accomplished. It's important that we send a signal to all universities, to all fraternities in the country, that fraternity should really be a vehicle upon which we build character and we build young men and women to be able to make of themselves better citizens of this country. Today, we send a very strong message to the universities that this law, although it has been passed, must be implemented not just by going after the killers of Acho, but to make sure that if any of these fraternities exist, they must be properly supervised by the universities, and there should be moderators in the university to see to it, along with the alumni fellows, that there is that responsibility that these sort of situations don't occur anymore. I was asked by Acho's father just a while ago, knowing that my own father was assassinated, and we were talking about whether the pain will go away. The pain never goes away, Mr. President. It lingers. But I also told him that in time, we will feel better, and it started to feel better because they have been able to fight and make sure that this bill is passed into law. But it doesn't stop there, Mr. President. All of us are duty-bound to see to it that it doesn't become a dead-letter law, that all of us, engage in self-congratulations that we have passed this landmark legislation. Gagawa tayo ng batas na talagang akala natin ma-assuage. For example, my good friend and brother, Senator Subiri, just talked about the Department of Justice. At times, Mr. President, they say justice runs very slow. But in our country, it would appear that we have to prod the Secretary of Justice to make sure that they move a little faster. They are, after all, slow as molasses. And at times, if there is no public clamor for justice, hindi gagalaw yung Department of Justice. I know, and I share this with Acho's father, Toti, na kailangan mag-lobby ka. How many justice secretaries did I have to meet in order to try and get justice? I told them that I had to go to Muntinlupa to talk to one of the killers of my father to find out whether we can get the masterminds. And up to now, the masterminds of 3 assassination attempts, like many young people who died in the fraternities, have never found justice, Mr. President. And so today, we put another bar into making it difficult to make sure that they abide by the law and that fraternities, if they are going to exist some more, and surely they will die, they will cease to exist if they continue in this path. If they do not, like other fraternities in this country, raise young people to become leaders of this country in the proper sense. And so, Mr. President, we join the families of those who have lost, the creme de la creme of their family, the youth of their family, to see to it that it doesn't happen again. But Mr. President, I also told Acho's father that no matter what, the world never seems to learn, and there will be evil. Should we be pessimistic, therefore, I don't think so, Mr. President, but there must be a bond created between parents, students, to make sure that an unceasing effort towards doing good, towards building up, to make sure that all these organizations or so-called extracurricular activities, that the energies of youth be channeled to more productive endeavors rather than inflicting pain on others, ay masunod. And so today, Mr. President, we pray for Acho. The world is better because he was here. He may have passed in a very, very sad manner. In a manner upon which parang walang budhi yung mga kasama na gumanap dito. But on the other hand, look at what Acho has achieved. It has all affected us, and we have passed this bill, and hopefully it will be signed into law, and we shall see to it that it is finally implemented, and all this pain will eventually go away. And so, Mr. President, I congratulate the Senate. I thank Acho's family for continuing the fight and to making sure that we do not shirk from our responsibility of fixing such problems in our country. And so, Mr. President, mabuhay po ang Pilipinas. Kahit na tayo namatayan, mabubuhay po ang Pilipinas kung tayo matututo sa mga ganitong kaganapan at may magagawa tayong kabutihan finally with each other. Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I now move for the consideration of Senate Bill 1620 for third reading. This is under Committee Report 171.
Any objection? Hearing none, the
May
motion
we
is approved.
request the Secretary to read the title of the measure.
An act abolishing the road board, amending for the purpose Republic Act number H794.
Mr. President, printed copies of the measure were distributed last February 8, 2018.